are meant for you to draw in, just on any of those two lines, to draw in parallel lines. So it doesn't matter which ones you draw through, but draw in parallel lines and then draw a transversal through those parallel lines. And then I'm going to label a couple of things. Does anybody remember, if you are given a picture, how will you know, if it's not actually written in the directions, how will you know based on the picture if the lines are actually parallel? Alexia? Yeah, they have like a triangle arrow on them. So if you see that marking, that tells you they're parallel. If you don't see that marking and it doesn't say in directions that they're parallel, then you can't assume they're parallel. That has to be given to you. And then I'm also going to label some angles here. So I'm going to label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I just want to review the terms that we talked about yesterday, the corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior. And I'm just going to write those off to the side. Can somebody give me a pair of corresponding angles based on this picture? So two angles that would be considered corresponding angles. Angela? 2 and 6. Can anybody give me another pair of corresponding? Savannah? Oh, I thought you had your hand up. Oh. Ben? 1 and 5 are also corresponding. Somebody give me another pair of corresponding. Kelly? 3 and 7. And what's the last pair of corresponding? 4 and 8. Okay, so we might not list for the other ones. Those are all of the pairs of corresponding. For the other ones, we'll just list one or two pairs. So what about alternate interior? Can somebody give me a pair of angles that are alternate interior angles? Excuse me. Jocelyn? 4 and 5. Okay, and that's just one. There's only one other pair. What's the other pair then? Angela? 3 and 6. So I'll list both because there's only 2 pairs. Then what about alternate? I'm going to abbreviate alternate ALT, alternate exterior. Jocelyn? 2 and 7. What's the other one? Other pair? 2 and 7 are alternate exterior. Also, what other 2? 1 and 8. And then I'll write this over here. What about consecutive interior? 3 and 5 are consecutive interior. And then what's the other pair? 4 and 6. Okay, so that's just reviewing what we talked about yesterday, or rather identifying pairs of angles that are corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior. Today, we are still working with those angle relationships, but the lines that you have are parallel. So yesterday, the 2 lines we had were not necessarily parallel. Today, they will be. If your lines are parallel, these pairs of angles have special relationships, but only if the lines are parallel. So what we are going to see is, if we start with here in this table, corresponding angles. For the abbreviation, if you ever see the abbreviation CA, that's corresponding angles. And you can write that instead of writing out the word corresponding, you can put CA for corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, if the lines are parallel, so this is important for you to see, this is only true if the lines are parallel. If lines are parallel, corresponding angles are always congruent. So that means according to this picture, angle 2 and angle 6 are congruent, angle 1 and angle 5 are congruent, 3 and 7 are congruent, 4 and 8 are congruent. So if the lines are parallel, corresponding angles are always congruent. Eventually, not today, but eventually we will be using these in proofs. So how you would use this statement in a proof is you would say, if lines parallel, then CA for corresponding angles congruent. So if lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. So eventually, like I said, not today, but eventually we'll be using these reasons in proofs. So when you know lines are parallel, you can conclude corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles. So you can abbreviate this with AIA. These are also congruent if the lines are parallel. Only if the lines are parallel. So in that picture, angles 4 and 5 are congruent, angles 3 and 6 are congruent. And how you would use this in a proof, you would say if lines parallel, then AIA for alternate interior angles are congruent. So you can make that conclusion. Alternate exterior angles are also congruent if the lines are parallel. So alternate exterior angles you can write as AEA, and these are also congruent. So in our picture, 2 and 7 are congruent and 1 and 8 are congruent. And that would be if lines are parallel, then AEA for alternate exterior angles, those are congruent. And the last one is consecutive interior angles. So this would be abbreviated CIA. And consecutive interior angles are not congruent, but they're supplementary when the lines are parallel. So these are supplementary. What does supplementary mean? Angela? Yes. So add to 180 if you just want to make a reminder to yourself of what supplementary means. So in our picture, if I add angle 3 and angle 5, that should equal 180. If I add 4 and angle 6, that should equal 180. So how this would be used in a proof is if lines are parallel, then CIA for consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So then I have 4 questions following this. It says, are corresponding angles always congruent? Are alternate interior angles always congruent? Are alternate exterior angles always congruent? Are consecutive interior angles always supplementary? You can answer these 4 questions. Well, I can answer all 4 with really one answer. The answer to the same as all of them. Are these always true? Okay, so I know when I saw yes. Sage, if you're saying no, why are you saying no? Yes. So the answer to all 4 of these is no. Only if the lines are parallel. So the key there is always, if your lines are not parallel, what we just filled in those boxes is not true. So it's only true with parallel lines. Okay, so now we're going to be using the fact that we know certain angles are congruent or supplementary to find missing measures of angles. So if we look at this picture, there are 14 angles that we need to find. Well, actually, we're given 2 of them. So it says in problem 5, the measure of angle 11 is 62. I'm just going to fill that in on my picture. This is 62. And then the measure of angle 14 is 38. And it says find the measure of all the numbered angles. And actually over to the side, 11 and 14 are also listed there, so you can fill in measure of angle 11 is 62, measure of angle 14 is 38. And let's work together to find all of the missing measures. So you could be using anything that we just talked about from the top, or you could be using other angle relationships we've talked about in previous chapters. Can anybody give me an angle that they know the measure of based on what we're given? Gabe. 1 would be 38. And why? That's right. Okay, so you know 6 is 38. Why do you know 6 is 38? Why? They are. I'm asking why. They are corresponding angles, 6 and 14. So notice these lines. Right here is your parallel line symbol. These lines are parallel, so 6 and 14 are corresponding, so they're congruent. And then you are right that 1 is 38. Okay, I want to go back to 1. Why do we know 1 is 38? You're right, 1 is 38. It is a vertical angle. So this is not something we talked about on this sheet. We've talked about it before. If you take this line and this line, 1 and 6 are vertical angles. Vertical angles are always congruent, so 1 is also 38. All right, and then Gabe, you said some of these were 62. Which ones did you say were 62? 4 and 3. So 4 is 62 because it's the same relationship as 6 and 14, corresponding angles. And then 4 and 3 are just like 1 and 6, they're vertical. So 3 is also 62. All right, what else do we know? Alexia? Why? What is corresponding? So 8 and 11 aren't corresponding. It is 62 though, that's right. They're what kind of angles? Emily? Oh, okay. Kelly, did you say what they were? They are, so 11 and 8 are vertical angles. 8 and 3 are corresponding. So there's really 2 ways you could argue 8. So 8 is 62. And for the same reason, 9 is 38. Because 14 and 9 are vertical. The reason I'm going through why is, say, I mean, you might have a problem where you're just finding the measures, but if I ask you what a measure is and then say explain, you should be able to say how you know what the measure is. So that's why I'm asking why right now also, so everybody knows where that's coming from. Emily, what were you going to say that you knew? 2 and 5 are 80. How do you know that? Okay, so you're taking the like the 1, 2, and 3, or the 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, so 1, 2, and 3 should add to 180. So if you subtract these from 180, 2 then is 80. You could argue the same thing for 4, 5, and 6, or look 2 and 5 are vertical. So 5 would also be 80. Sage?
12 and 13 are 118 because 11 and 12 are supplementary angles, and 180 minus 62 is 180.
Okay, so 12 is 118. I agree with that. 13, though, is not 118.
Oh.
Yeah, but if you use the same reasoning, 13 would be 142 because 13 and 14 should add to 180.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. And then, did I just see your hand? Did I not see a hand in the back? We have 10 and 7 left. Why? Yes. 7 and 12 are vertical angles, so they're the same. 13 and 10 are vertical angles, they're the same. All right, we found them all. All right, any questions on that one? Okay. Now for these next ones, we're actually not going to do 8 and 9 because they're on your assignment. So take those out. But 6 and 7, you are finding the measures of the, or finding not the measures, but finding the missing variables. You're finding x and y. So here it's similar to in chapter 1, and we did this a little in chapter 2, where you might have to set up an equation to find the missing variables with the relationships you know. This is the same idea. So for 6, notice these lines are parallel. So anybody have an idea of how we could start this to find x or y? I'll ask Jocelyn. Why? So x plus 12 and 114, they are alternate, but 114 is exterior and x plus 12 is interior. So they're not, consecutive means they're on the same side. Consecutive interior would be on the same side of the transversal and both interior. Ella?
Did you do that 114 opposite sides, so then it'd be 114 and then 180 minus 114 would get 66 on like the right side of the top parallel. And then it's corresponding with a vertical angle of 12 plus, wait.
So are you saying, can I have you back up? Are you saying put the 114 here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then from there, I subtracted the 114 from 180 and got 66 on the other side of that.
So this was 66?
Yeah, and then that was corresponding angles with above the y on the opposite side of the parallel.
This one?
Yeah, right there. And then so x plus 12 equals 66, and then you do the.
Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Jocelyn too. Jocelyn, you were saying they were consecutive interior. So if you do put this here, now these are consecutive interior.
Well, I know that I knew how to set it up. I just didn't remember like what the word was.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just pointing. Okay, I just wanted to say you were right that they were consecutive interior, not based on how it was originally shown to us, but you were right. They are. So yeah, there's different ways. So if I go off of what Ella said based on how she filled things in, now these are vertical angles, so I can set x plus 12 equal to 66. Subtract 12, x is 54. And then what is y? 114, y. Yes. So here, alternate interior, or right from the start, y and 114 are corresponding. So right from the beginning, these are the same. All right, the picture for 7 is a little weird, but notice you do have parallel lines. We have that parallel line symbol. It might help you if you extend the picture a little bit. So if I extend these parallel lines out, and then I extend these transversals. So sometimes just extending those might help you see the picture a little bit better. There's 2 parallel lines and then there's 2 different transversals. Any ideas how you could find X or Y? Okay. So right here. These 2 angles are not congruent. These would be consecutive interior, meaning they would be supplementary. However, these 2 angles, what's their relationship? Angela? Not exterior, because these are the parallel lines, they're inside. So these are alternate interior, meaning they're the same. So 2x should equal 108. Okay, so now if I divide by 2, x would be 50. Thank you. I was thinking 56 and I knew that was right. 54. And then how do we find y? So based on where y is, this is the transversal, so I can't really use this information to help me find y. I can only use these because of this transversal. Do you have an idea, Sage?
Well, what I was going to say is, but can you take your hand away?
Yep.
You could do 180 is like the corresponding angle for the top right, and then it would be corresponding for over there on the left.
This one here?
Yeah, and then it would correspond over there.
But these 2 lines aren't parallel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, but that actually doesn't work because these are not parallel lines. Angela? Yes, these are consecutive interior, meaning they're supplementary. So 5y plus 120 should equal 180. And then I can subtract 120. So 5y equals 60. Divide by 5, and y would be 12. Okay, so you'll have practice with these types of questions on your assignment. Like I said, we're skipping 8 and 9. I do want to talk about 10 because it talks about another relationship we haven't talked about yet. 10 says if line A is parallel to line B. So I'm going to draw that in here, or rather mark that they're parallel. If line A and B are parallel and angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, it says describe the relationship between lines B and C and explain. So let's back up a bit here. Line A is parallel to line B, and then it says 1 and 2 are congruent. If 1 and 2 are congruent, what do you know about angles 1 and 2? They're the same. What measure do they have to be? 90. So if two angles are supplementary and they're congruent, they have to both be 90. That's the only way for these two angles to be congruent is if they're both 90. If two lines, so now I know angle A and angle C form a 90-degree angle, meaning what's the relationship between angle or line A and C? They're perpendicular. So A is perpendicular to C. The question then says, what's the relationship between line B and line C? They're also perpendicular. Why?
Two corresponds.
Okay, 2 corresponds to 6, so this is also 90. 1 corresponds to 5, that's also 90. So B and C are also perpendicular. Okay, so here it is a writing question. So here I'll model to how I might write this. I could say the measure of angle 1 equals 90 and measure of angle 2 equals 90 because angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 and they are supplementary. So I'm stating how I know they're both 90. And then I can say, therefore, line A is perpendicular to line C. So we went from saying 1 and 2 are both 90 to stating A was perpendicular to C. Then we went down to say angle 6 corresponded to 2, 5 corresponded to 1. So I can say the measure, I'll just say angle 6. The measure of angle 6 is 90 because it corresponds to angle 2 and therefore line B is perpendicular to line C. You will notice, I think when we did paragraph proofs, this isn't a formal paragraph proof. When you write responses in math, it's almost as if you're kind of doing an informal paragraph proof because you're saying, how do you know something is true? That's what a proof is. Okay, so 1 and 2 both have to be 90, therefore A is perpendicular to C. 6 is also 90 because it corresponds to angle 2, and therefore B is perpendicular to C. Okay, that's kind of a longer response.